Hello, you're welcome to Dr. Abayomi Ajayi Live. It's another Sunday evening in Lagos, and today it's a special day. Okay, we have a special guest in the house. You all know him, Koffi.
I don't think everybody knows me.
Koffi, so good to have you here
yes,
today.
Yes, it's an honor, sir. I feel very, very honored.
Yeah,
to be part of this. Yes.
Yeah, we are also very happy to see you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah.
And considering me worthy of this discourse.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So today, we're talking about Spermageddon, male infertility, and I'm going to hand over the program to Koffi to anchor.
Okay. I must say this, that the term Spermageddon came to me as a shock. I know of Armageddon. So immediately the word came, I was like, okay, oh, that's the obliteration, or is it obliteration of the sperm cells, Armageddon. Oh, okay, oh, that's a good word. But I didn't know that in actual fact it existed in medical terms. I just thought it was a coinage, a street parlance coinage, and until I did some research, I was like, wow, so this really is a thing. So, indeed, what is male infertility, if I may ask?
Yeah, sorry, Koffi. Maybe just like we both watched that video, maybe we should let our audience start with that, and then we'll start our discussion.
Please, you need to see this video. It's very, very impactful.
Of the many factors contributing to sperm count decline, there's one that's especially hard to avoid: plastics. More specifically, a group of chemicals found in many plastic products called phthalates. Phthalates are added to plastic during manufacture to make it soft and flexible.
They're just wonderfully versatile, amazing products. It's just that they also have the effect of altering our body's hormones.
Epidemiologist Shauna Swan, who co-authored the breakthrough fertility study, also researches phthalates' effect on the hormone testosterone. Shauna's met me at this 99-cent store to show me how ubiquitous these chemicals are.
From me handling, a plastic bottle, how does it get from there to my testes?
The chemicals that we were concerned about are not chemically bound to the plastic. They're in the composition, but they come out.
Microwaving leftovers in a plastic container is a prime example. When heated, the phthalates leach out of the plastic into the food.
We're ingesting them, we're absorbing them, and we're breathing them.
For reasons not entirely known, once inside the body, phthalates seem to inhibit testosterone production. That's scary enough when you're a grown man, but Shauna's research suggests worse damage could be done before we're even born.
Your mother, when she was pregnant with you, what she drank, what she ate, what she was exposed to was actively affecting your body within her body.
For his sex organs to develop, the male fetus needs testosterone in utero.
When it's not there at the right time, in the right amount, then he can be what we call incompletely masculinized.
Translation: his testicles may not develop, and his penis may be smaller.
And he will have a low sperm count.
That's extraordinary.
It is extraordinary.
The fertility study which Shauna co-authored focused on Western men because similar data is less available in other countries, but that doesn't mean the phenomenon isn't worldwide.
If that trend continues as is, does it start to pose existential threats to our species?
I'm not a seer. I can't predict the future, but I can tell you what doesn't look good.
Our poor, dwindling sperm. They're working overtime to propagate the human race, but how much longer can they keep up? What would a post-sperm world look like? Looks like I picked the wrong week to stop drinking.
Things look grim, I wouldn't deny it, but I'm a little bit more optimistic.
Bioethicist Arthur Kaplan sees a future in which we ditch concerns about raising sperm counts and focus on raising actual sperm.
Okay, I hope our viewers were able to pick one or two things from that video. If you follow the story of the young man, we couldn't play everything, but if you go on YouTube on your own, you'll be able to see the full picture of what we're trying to say here. It's become a predominant male new problem. It looks like it's predominant in the Western world, but I must tell you, right here in our backyard, a lot of young men are going through the same problem. And we have the fertility expert here to throw more light on it. Doctor, is it indeed as obvious as it was in that video right here at home, male infertility? The numbers they mentioned there are quite astronomical. You know, from 73 to 2011, the cubic meter of sperm cells dropped from about 90,000 to 45,000. Is it the same thing as we speak?
Koffi, I'm afraid it is.
Like in this, our Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, everything.
Actually, we did a study here.
Okay.
And over 10 years. We didn't do 40 years. Over 10 years. And what we saw was even worse than that. It was a drop of 3% per year. But why we can't make so much noise about that is that it's not a community-based study. It's a study in a fertility center.
Okay.
So the people who come to a fertility center already have signified that there's something going on that is not good.
Okay.
So that's why we could not make that much noise.
Okay.
But what we saw was a drop of 3% per year. So in 10 years, that was a drop of 30%. Yeah.
Between 2010 and 2020.
Actually, it was between 2004 and 2014. Yeah.
So we're looking towards about 36% now.
Well, if you can extrapolate that way,
yes.
I hope not. But that's what we saw.
Because lifestyle has gotten a bit more degraded over time.
Actually, that's one of the things that, and you know, the only thing that we can actually control of all the causes of male infertility is lifestyle.
Because I can see that the negative habits are really being on the offshoot in young people. The drinking habits, the drug habits,
yeah.
the social drug, everything is escalating.
Sedentary lifestyle.
So definitely it
yeah.
means it must have gone a lot more beyond 30%.
I hope not.
So how common is male infertility really? How common is it? How in like 10 young males, what's the percentage of male infertility?
Okay, that I might not be able to answer directly. There was a study in Denmark that answered that and said 4 out of 10. Okay, in Nigeria we can, because the figures that we have most of the time, and they are in couples when they're married. All right, what we know is that if you have 10 couples who are trying to get pregnant and they're having difficulties, 3 to 4 will be due to male factor infertility. The same percentage that females also have.
So it's equal on both.
It's equal on
species.
both sides.
This is because most times a lot of people will go into prayer warrior mode thinking it is their woman. Some will say it's witchcraft and all that. But then it's starting to be very okay. In your experience, will you say it is getting better or worse as we're going? Is it getting better or worse? Though I thought, like I said earlier, is it getting better based on medical breakthroughs and interventions? Is it getting better or worse?
Well, treatment seems to be getting better.
Okay.
And we also hope for even bigger breakthroughs in the future. For example, until 1980, we really, even, IVF, the first baby came in 78, but that was for female infertility. All right, until about 1980-81, when the first baby from what we call ICSI now was born. And since then, there have been a lot of progress in male factor, even male factor infertility. But it's not as if it's Uhuru yet.
So for those who don't know Uhuru is we've not gotten to the final bus stop yet.
because yes, technology is going up, but our own lifestyle, just like you said, is going down.
It's going down.
So it's making the balance to become okay. Like we did another study here, and we saw that 12% of the men who come here don't have sperm count at all.
Hey!
None. Zero.
Hey!
Zero. 12%.
At all.
At all.
Not that they have some that are swimming
No,
away,
no,
and then some are doing backstroke.
No.
None swimming forward.
No. Not present at all. They're not even swimming. They're not
The
present.
sac is empty.
Completely the sperm, there is no sperm. You see, and that's one problem that we have in this environment is that men think the ability to have sex means I can impregnate a woman. Ability to have sex, we call it virility. It's different from fertility. For you to be fertile, you need to be producing sperm. The sperm needs to be transported from the testes to the urethra,
Yes.
yeah, where is the starch, and then mixed with other components.
And
The number needs to be enough, and they have to be of good function, motility.
Healthy.
They must be healthy. So, and genetically sound. So, and that's where all these things, when we talk about lifestyle, people say, what are you talking about, lifestyle? What has it got to do with
so
me?
I can't still phantom a young man. Is there no way you can feel it that you're empty down there? Is there no way you will know?
Unfortunately, there is none. Well, very few things might come in, but some of them you might not even relate to your fertility. Okay, some might just be like maybe, but very few. Most of the time, there are no symptoms at all.
Wow.
So, things like maybe low sexual desire
Okay.
might be pointers, or you have pain in your testes might be
Yes.
pointers, or you have breast like that is too big,
Big
like that of it,
enlargement, okay.
might be one of the things that might make you to suspect maybe there is something. But generally, most of the time is that you cannot get your wife pregnant. That's
Okay.
what brings
So
you to the
what can
doctor.
we say in modern terms is responsible for the increase in infertility and the quality of sperm production? What's responsible?
Yeah, there are quite a number of things. You know, there with the usual suspect that some people are born that way, the genes that they carry. Yeah.
Some people are born.
Yeah.
Okay, truly, in that video, I saw that what the mother eats and all those affect.
Yeah.
Okay,
The offspring. Yeah. So some people are born that way. They've inherited even some genes. Okay. But like we said, lifestyle, obesity, drugs, all these things also contribute to it. Childhood mumps sometimes, so this mumps thing can. Then there's some medical conditions also that might be associated with low sperm count, for example, like men who have what we call varicocele. That's actually low sperm count is a pointer to the fact that something is going wrong with the man. So things like sometimes
psychological
stress is a good one, yes, but things like some even worse things like renal diseases could, or even some cancers might even first of all exhibit like low sperm count, and then when you see
now graduates to
you now start so those are some of the things, and then there's some drugs that you can take also that can and see that in Nigeria sometimes people take drugs,
self-medication.
Yeah, I hear a lot of things and I say, are you sure that's not a supplement? And they use it for prolonged period of time.
And then it now goes
it goes negative. But I think the greatest thing will probably also, the threat we face now will probably be the environment.
So are we saying, when you said it could be inherited, being inherited, that the son is not able to produce sperm? How does I can't picture it.
Inheritance has many formats. There's some things that we inherit genes from the two parents. So,
X, Y chromosomes and all that.
Yeah, actually the chromosomes, you inherit a pair, one of the pair problem from the two parents. So the two of them might be healthy, but they have that.
It's just like having
mosaic,
AS.
exactly. And so when it comes together, then there's a problem. So there's some things like that happen. So And that's why I hear sometimes some people say, "Oh, but my father had 10 children." I say, "Okay."
That sounds like the biblical punishment of the generations of the father.
Yeah. So it happens that way. But you know, the environment is something now that we really need to look at.
Can we say, like you said, the drugs?
Antibiotics used to be very commonly used, which are not so commonly used now, but they can really be very bad. There's also some ulcer drugs that can lead to that. There's some antihypertensives that can lead
I used to take medication for ulcer. Thank God, oh, thank God I'm free from those medications.
So
for real,
self-medication is just not on.
People, are you listening to this?
It's just not on.
Please, are you listening to this? Be careful with the kind of drugs that you take. Be careful with self-medication. Certain drugs are not good for you. Sir, what can be done in terms of treatment? The kind of now.
Because there's some. Maybe we want to recognize the people on Instagram.
Okay, Sisterly Sister 2, we see you. Fike, see me. Uyi Style Hub, I see you. Tolu Adeoye, thanks for joining us. Oluwa Tosin Lawal. Pwiti, that's a very, okay. Kindly like what we're doing, share it later. Jojo Kent, I see you. Everybody watching us on Instagram, you can send us DMs afterwards to Dr. Abayomi Ajayi and myself for further inquiries and more knowledge on what we're talking about. This is real, people. This is very, very real. I am just learning a few things. I used to take medication for ulcer because I used to be so caught up in my books. I didn't have time to eat. And then now, presently, our environment, the way it is, we have very bad eating habits, sleeping habits, party habits, drinking habits. All these things that we're taking, sex enhancement concussions. How detrimental are they to this issue?
Well, you see, why I'm a little bit hesitant about saying some things is because some of those things, especially the concoctions, we don't even know what they contain.
Yeah.
So once you don't know what anything contains,
monkey bazooka, fire, as in the name. You know the names now. Please be dropping them on Instagram. Please be giving us the names that you know of all these things that people use. Why am I? You know, I've never used any, so I hardly know their names. But they are, as in, a lot of companies just came out at some point with a lot of all this.
Exactly, and they come under and say these are natural products. Hey, wait a minute, and I say, okay, what does it really contain? Anyway, so there's a lot of things going on.
So people are actually killing. It means a lot of, because when we go to some certain parties, you know, they do a lot of mixture. They call it mixture. You know, there's always this and this. Every weekend, every day, people go to parties. There's always a discovery of a new concussion that seems to make everybody high. But in retrospect, it's actually killing the young men. So what I've seen in the next 20 years, a lot of unable fathers. Guys, when they hear me, so you're killing yourself if you're taking a lot of these things. So when you party hard, think about it. I think we should legalize water as the official drinks at parties. Can water ever cause infertility?
No, water cannot cause any disease because with 80% of us is water.
But then in that video, I noticed that there was mention that the plastic bottles we use,
exactly,
plastic we use in microwave ovens, and all those things, they have phthalates.
Yeah.
That then, you know, have all this what do we call them, that go into our food, our system, that then attack the sperms.
Exactly, they attack testosterone. They are endocrine disruptors.
So waters or what?
Sure, we should be careful with.
How do we then drink water when we're out there? How do we?
You know. A few years ago, they said if you don't keep bottled water
too long in
your car because of heat, because the phthalates will come out.
Yes, true.
You know, so once it is
chemical
not
reaction.
Heated, you're good.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
But that's why in the microwave,
exactly,
once you heat the plastic,
exactly,
the phthalates then
they just
come out. of that
Yeah.
composition.
Yeah.
Because I studied chemistry, so I
Okay.
understand what heat does to cells.
Mhm.
It breeds cells. They go from their state of inertia,
So
and then
come active.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
so that's the
oh,
thing.
Okay, so for those of us who like to heat up a lot of things and then drink it in plastics, you know, kind of make it hot, and then so you're drinking
You're
more
drinking
poison.
soup.
Like if you buy hot agbo in nylon, and some people nipple nylons with agbo. You know, they'll buy agbo in nylon, then they will now tie it, then they will nipple it.
Wow.
They will tear the tip of it. So it means direct consumption of phthalates. Because nylon is softer than bottle.
Yeah.
So it's direct consumption.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody is asking us on Facebook, can sexually transmitted diseases make a man fire blank? I think
Definitely.
so. I know, we know that one.
Infection
But
is a common cause of used to be very, very, very common.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah.
I even know that.
Yeah.
I know that. I syphilis,
Yeah.
gonococcus,
Yeah.
and all those things. So those ones, they are the first attackers of sperm cells. They eat it raw. Their main food is sperm cells. Okay.
Yeah, but there's some vocations.
Oh, jobs.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm a comedian, master of ceremony, so
You're good.
I'm good. Which vocations, please? Which works?
There was a study in France that showed that people who work in fuel stations because of lead in fuel.
Oh, fact.
Yeah. Paint industry.
Paint industry, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of chemicals.
And then, of course, you know, here, people who testes are exposed to a lot of heat, like Okada. So those are things also that can predispose to male factor infertility.
No, the irony is, you see, these our interstate drivers. They are the ones who take a lot of these concussions. This, okay, yes, I was going to say this. From that video, I used to think that low sperm count and infertility in the West is due to high intake of, I think, alcohol, because a lot of Westerners, Caucasians drink a lot, gin, spirit, drink. So I used to think perhaps that was the reason. Does that also apply here? Drinking a lot of spirits, gin, and you know.
Koffi, I don't know whether you know that we drink more than this.
we drink more than them. But does normal beer also work in this instance, or is it
Alcohol,
just spirit?
everything is broken to alcohol. Excessive alcohol is what we're talking about. So whether it's beer, whether it's spirit.
If you see the way some boys pride themselves in the number of bottles they can drink.
I know.
And and that's for young men who have not had children.
Exactly. That's why we're trying to let them understand the risk they are predisposing themselves to, fertility-wise.
So we can't trust all these sex enhancers, boosters. I don't want to mention them because a lot of them are on Instagram advertising, and a lot of my friends, colleagues they are influencers, so they don't think we're demarketing. But then everything should be taken in moderation, even if need be. Because what are the natural things that people really need to use in case they need to be virile, really?
Well, you know, I've told you that virility is different from fertility.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So if it is fertility that we're talking about, yes, you see, probably there's some trace elements like zinc, but it depends on what we are talking about. It's not treatment for infertility. It's like prevention.
Yes. So what can they eat?
So the first thing is that you must
eating.
Exactly. You can't be obese. So you must watch your weight. I see sometimes that might be too close, but I see some young men, they are like this, and they carry brandy and they mix all kinds of things and they gulp it down. And I say, okay, all right. Yeah, I'll wait for you.
Definitely. Amos, how do you counsel those who fire blank? What do you advise them? What do you tell them?
You know, when we say somebody is firing blanks, that probably means it's having sex, it's ejaculating, but it does not contain
It's
sperm.
empty.
That, seriously, it's only something that an IVF clinic can help with.
Okay.
So, because there are things that we can do, in some people we can still go to the testes and bring out
culture it.
and bring out some sperm, because
then you train the sperm how to swim properly.
you know what I mean. We have a small swimming pool for them to train them how to swim, but we just inject them straight into the egg, so they don't have to swim.
If your sperm cannot swim, we'll come to our clinical gym to learn how to swim. Oh, okay. There's a thorny issue in male fertility treatment: donor sperm.
Yeah.
At what point would you recommend donor sperm? Just like as you mentioned IVF, at what point? Because this seems to be a very touchy area in our culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, there is low sperm count, there is no sperm count.
Okay.
All right. And there is low sperm count bordering on no.
Very close to.
Very close to
Yeah,
no.
the border between Mexico and Texas.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Whether Trump or not.
So those, like I said, we can go to the testes, even we know sometimes, and we're lucky to get some sperm cells. But when we don't get any sperm cells, that's when we now start talking about use of donor sperm. That usually is not anything that anybody looks forward to. Neither the doctor, nor the people involved also. It's something, is like a last resort.
Sir, this thing that you just said, in our culture would either make or mar a marriage. What are some options for men with sperm? What are the options? That's what we're talking about. Donor, and all that.
Yeah.
Thank God, me now, I have 3 children and I'm not in use of my sperm cells anymore. So
you want to rent them?
we're available to borrow you. But sir, don't you think this will make a lot more men hide this situation from their wives and then borrow sperms too? Because I know some women, years later they might start, throwing jabs at the man. You're not man enough. Because our culture really is alien to some of these things. How do you think we can balance it?
You think our culture is alien to it, really and truly, but there's so many people. If 12% of the people we see don't have sperm, so that it shows you that it's not really.
It's a new world order. Now.
Yeah.
People are opening up.
Yes, but most of the time, actually, there's some cases that we have that actually after they've succeeded in having children, it's not even the woman that is the problem, it's the man. The man loves the kid to bits, but he's attacking his wife.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, but after a while, with a lot of counseling, that's why counseling is so important in what we're doing. Unfortunately, many Nigerians think that they're too strong for counseling. They say, no, I don't need counseling. No, I'm macho.
I was about to ask that, is it easy to convince a man to use donor sperm cell? Is it really, the counseling, does it work? Is it easy?
It's not easy. Nothing is easy once it comes to third-party reproduction. Even for women, it's not easy. But sometimes it's the only reasonable thing to do.
Because I was thinking about the psychological end of it, what are the possible implications of this new agenda? Like, okay, you can't prove, because love is one thing, but fathering a child is another thing. So what are the psychological implications? How does this play out eventually in most cases that you know?
Well, you see, one thing that I want us to understand is that a child in a family really is very important. And most of the time, there might be some exactly. But after a while, I think, the question to ask sometimes is that.
So how do we mentally keep this person sane? How do we exercise their mind?
Exactly. How does this person also open up to help?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there is help, but the guy is not. Yeah. Because sometimes you get a phone call from the wife and say, look, this is what we're facing. and then we invite the guys
Some
over.
men can just leave home for days,
Yeah,
just because
we
it's-
invite the guys over and then we have a chat with them. But I think it's people are beginning to understand now that it's not peculiar to them. For example, now we have like a support group for people who have gone through infertility, who are going
it's a
through.
new norm. People now realize
Exactly.
that
So you
this
can have
part
people
of
that
our
you can
modern challenge.
you can talk to. Yeah.
It's okay
Yeah.
because in the days of our fathers, this might have been their own challenges. This is our own new challenge.
But no, the challenge had always been is the solution now that is different. You know what they used to do in those days? They just organized an uncle to come and do the job in the night and then. You know, but now you don't have to do that. What I don't know about is how do you feel when that uncle comes visiting? Do you understand me?
Well, he shouldn't come visiting, please. Your uncle Emma, don't come around, please. You have done your job.
Okay, you meet him at the family meeting.
Because some of those uncles, they will now later maybe be claiming right that after all, I'm the one who did this for you.
No, but you know those days,
You have to keep.
yes.
Yes.
He cannot say it.
You have to keep.
He can't say it.
I've seen reports online of different scenarios. You know, when some young man posts that all the kids by the mom are not for the father,
Mhm.
none are his. So is it that men like this did not know they had low sperm count or no sperm at all, and then the woman knew and then decided to go out? Because I think some women know, and in order not to make the man feel bad, they take the solution themselves by looking for another man, because they know that they are healthy, and the man refused to go for a fertility check with them. But because they know they are healthy, they know that definitely this man is the problem, but they don't want to tell him. Do you think women should, when they have noticed these things, should call their partner and make sure he follows through with proper treatment?
Well, these days, I think, fortunately, I've been able to see the two sides. When there was no fertility treatment and when there is fertility treatment. Okay. When there was no fertility treatment in Nigeria, for example, this used to happen. But now, sometimes it's the men who come to do
Awesome.
inquiries for their.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the picture is changing. People are beginning to see that there is a solution.
Please, people, listen. There is nothing to be shy about. There is no shame in opening up with all this. We're based on fact. These questions are based on fact. So I was about to ask, what are the lifestyle changes that we must put in place to improve the quality of sperms?
Yeah. Okay. The first thing is, of course, I think you've said so many of them. One, you can't be obese, so watch what you eat.
Okay.
So eat healthy,
Okay.
exercise moderately.
Okay. 18. But this. Okay. Continue.
So moderate alcohol, moderate coffee, and of course no weed. They don't call it weed. They don't call it hemp anymore.
No, it's weed, skunk. There are varieties of them.
Yeah.
There's the one that is killing the young people now. What's the name of his town they named it after? So I was going to ask this one before we go. We're about to round up, people. Does sexual interaction with more than one partner lead to some of these issues of infertility? Like some people say, if a woman has been taking in more than one partner, the system sort of goes against this guy, that guy, so the system is confused as to who is fertilizing my egg. So who am I supposed to get pregnant for? And then he decides not to even get pregnant at all. And then if a guy has been with several women, will this eventually affect his infertility as well?
As long as you don't catch any infection,
Okay.
you are good. Infection is the thing to
That
be
causes
afraid
it.
of,
Okay.
because I don't know, but if you're going to do this, do that, I'm sure if in 2020, for the sake of Christ, you use protection.
Definitely.
But if you are wise enough not to use protection, then
Why is it not? You are dead.
Because there are so many things also that can come into the bargain, including HIV.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
I don't know. I seriously.
Okay, people. If there's still any question we want to answer now before we wrap it up, but the fact here is this: male infertility is real. It is with us. It is existent. Our lifestyle is affecting us. Be careful with plastic around you, with your food when you're using your microwave, with your water bottle. Be careful with your sexual interactions. Use protection when necessary, and be careful what you eat, and then how you go about your business around the opposite sex. If you have issues of infertility, please reach us at the Nordica Centre. Dr. Abayomi Ajayi will be on hand to attend to you. It is not a shame. It is something that has a solution. Be open to new trends and modern medical approach. You can have donors that would help you maintain your family by giving you what you need the most, a happy, healthy baby. So please reach out. You know how to reach us on Facebook, on Instagram. My name is Koffi, or they call me Koffi the Guru. You can reach out to me in case you can't connect immediately. Send me a DM. I'll forward the message to them here and give you the help you need. It's been an amazing, I hope.
Yeah, but I want one more thing.
Okay, sir.
Drugs, because that's one thing that we see.
Okay, the drugs.
Sperm boosters.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it from the concussion angle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But even prescription sperm boosters is not true.
Okay, please take note. No drugs to boost your sperm will help you. If they are dead, they are dead. The bones shall not rise again. Your virility, please, I totally don't like the idea of us having to sexually enhance ourselves to satisfy the opposite sex. If it is 2 minutes I can do today, please manage 2 minutes. If it is 20 minutes tomorrow, let's be grateful. But that we must constantly want to prove ourselves to the opposite sex at our own detriment, I disagree. And again, please, this is a serious issue. If you know somebody who is going through infertility, if you know a young man who is starting to have maybe some very obese protrusion on their breast, start to suspect yourself. If you're feeling very low sexual drive, start to feel the need to see an expert like him. If you see that it seems like you're pulling away from women, start to think that your sperms are telling you we don't they dry. Go and see a doctor. Any other thing, doctor?
No, I think we're good. Okay,
people, please take note of all these things that we've impacted on you today. Okay, we have one final person talking to us. Can azoospermia occur in men who have previously fathered children? Peju is asking us that one.
Yes.
Sir. Yes. I know. I know friends who have had, some men like to have boy, girl, and then they keep trying afterwards, maybe after 2 boys to have a girl, and they suddenly find out that their wife can no longer get pregnant.
Yeah.
So
fertility is one thing that you cannot rely on the past success.
Yes.
Every time you are tried.
Yes. Okay. It's a continuous battle. Thank God for those of us who have hanged our boots. We're no longer playing in the field. But then for the rest of you, please take precaution. Do the right thing. Thank you for joining us on this episode. We hope to catch you again next time. Namaste. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for having me on the show. I hope we can do this often enough. Thank you, all the technical crew, people behind the cameras. Thank you for an amazing job done. God